Okay, so we discussed what is pollination, what are the different types of pollination, what are the different factors affecting the types of pollination. Next, we are discussing outbreeding devices. Outbreeding devices. Majority of flowers are bisexual. Bisexual means hermaphrodite. Okay, hence show self-pollination. Okay, because they have the ability to undergo autogamy. Both sexes are present in the same flower. Repeated self-pollination results in inbreeding depression. What is inbreeding depression? Inbreeding depression means the flower will get the parental characters only, not will get the combination characters. That is inbreeding depression. So the continued self-pollination results in breeding depression. Okay, flowering plants have many devices to discourage self-pollination and encourage cross-pollination. Such devices are pollen releases and stigma respectively are not synchronized, and placement of the anther and stigma at different position. So plant having their own features to discourage the self-pollination and promote cross-pollination. Such devices are like pollen releases and stigma respectively are not synchronized. That means they were not released at the same time. The next one is the placement of the anther and the stigma at a different position. That also makes the self-pollination is a fault of it causes the fault of the self-pollination. Okay, both will prevent the chance of pollen grains contact with the stigma and prevent autogamy. A third device that prevents inbreeding is its self-incompatibility. Self-incompatibility. So self-incompatibility is a genetic mechanism and prevents self-pollen fertilization by inhibiting pollen germination or pollen tube growth in the pistil. So self-incompatibility is a genetic mechanism in which it prevents the self-pollen fertilization by inhibiting pollen germination or pollen tube growth in the pistil. Okay, so the unisexual flowers also prevent autogamy but promote geitonogamy as in castor and maize flowers. Unisexual flowers also prevent autogamy and promote geitonogamy as in castor and maize flowers. So Diaceae in papaya prevents both autogamy and geitonogamy but promotes cross pollination only. Diaceae means papaya plant. Papaya plant is a unisexual plant. Papaya and date palm are the examples for the unisexual plant. So in the papaya and the date palm there occur cross pollination. So this is outbreeding devices. Outbreeding devices. So what is outbreeding devices? To overcome the inbreeding depression. Plant having their own features. Okay, so the features are pollen releases and stigma respectively not coordinated. That means in some species pollen release and the stigma respectively are not synchronized. Either the pollen is released before the stigma, before respective stigma, then the stigma release after the pollen. So it prevents autogamy. Next is different positioning. This prevents autogamy. Okay, not correct synchronization occurs, so it also prevents autogamy. The next is self-incompatibility. Self-incompatibility is a genetic mechanism to prevent self-pollen from fertilization by inhibiting pollen germination or pollen tube growth in the pistil. The next is production of unisexual flowers. Presence of a male and female flower on different plants such as that each plant is either male or female. That condition is Diaceae. If male and female flowers are present in the same plant, monoecious, okay, castor and maize are the example for it. It prevents autogamy but not geitonogamy. In dioecious plants like papaya, male and female flowers are present on different plants. This prevents both autogamy and geitonogamy and promote xenogamic condition. Clear it is. Next topic is pollen pistil interaction. So pollen is a part of the male reproductive system and pistil is a part of the female reproductive system. The next topic is pollen pistil interaction. Okay, so pollination results the transfer of wrong and right pollen grains to surface of the stigma. The right pollen grain reaching on the stigma result the post pollination events. Thus the compatible pollens reaching on the stigma make continuous dialogue with the chemical components of the pollens and the pistil. This interaction results in the growth of pollen tube through the germ pore and grows further through the stigma and style and finally reaches to the ovary level where the ovules present. Okay, so when the pollen tube grows, the generative nucleus divides and results to male nuclei. Then the pollen tube enters to the micropyle and finally into one of the synergies of the egg apparatus by the guidance of the filiform apparatus. You understand anything? I hope you will not be understand what is pollen pistil interaction. Okay, so pollen pistil interaction means the pollen deposition on the stigma and the pollen tube germination. Okay, all these processes are known as pollen pistil interaction. It is a dynamic process involving pollen recognition followed by the promotion or inhibition of the pollen, because wrong and the right pollens are entered into the stigma. Clear? So pollination does not guarantee the transfer of the right type of pollen grain into the right type of stigma. Hence the pistil has the ability. So pistil have the ability to recognize the right type of pollen and to promote post-pollination events. Clear? This interaction takes place through the chemical components produced by them. If a pollen is compatible means right type, the pistil accepts it and allow the pollen to germinate. Okay, so here the pistil recognize which one is the compatible pollen grain. So the pistil recognize the compatible pollen grain and allow the pollen to germinate. Okay, so the in case of incompatible or wrong type, the pistil rejects the pollen by preventing pollen germination on the stigma or the pollen tube growth in the style. Following compatible pollination, the pollen grain produce pollen tube through one of the germ pore. Okay, the content of the pollen grain move into the pollen tube. The content of the pollen tube move into the pollen tube. Then what will happen? If the pollen grain is in two-celled stage means it having the vegetative cell and the generative cell. Okay, so here what will happen? The generative cell again produces two nuclei and it form a three-celled stage. So the pollen tube enters into the ovule through the micropyle and then into the embryo sac through the synergids. Synergids are guided by the filiform apparatus. Okay, and then what will happen? It fuses with the right pollen tube fuses with the embryo sac and result will be forming, or hybrid conditions will be forming. Okay, this is pollen pistil interaction. So pollen and the pistil have the ability to recognize the right one. So pistil recognize the compatible one and the incompatible one. Compatible means right type and incompatible means wrong type. So wrong type pistil rejects the wrong type and accepts the right type and guide the right type to the stigma and form pollen tube. Then the pollen tube, through the pollen tube the nuclei were entered and the nucleus are entered into the embryo sac portions guided by the synergids. Okay, synergids are again guided by the filiform apparatus. This is pollen pistil interaction. All the events from pollen deposition on the stigma until pollen tube enters the ovule are together referred to as pollen pistil interaction. Here it is, all the events from pollen deposition on the stigma until pollen tube enter the ovule, all together it is known as pollen pistil interaction. It is a dynamic process involving pollen recognition by the stigma or pistil. Okay, they select the compatible pollen. Incompatible pollens or sterile pollens are rejected by the pistil and do not allow the growth of pollen tube. Okay. Compatible pollen grains are encouraged by pistil for the growth and development of the pollen tube. The pollen tube grows through the stigma and style to reach the ovary. It is then enters into the micropyle and reaches the synergids guided by filiform apparatus. Okay, so this is the process taking place. Okay, so the process or entry of the pollen tube into the ovule was not take place in all organisms as like. In different types, the pollen tube entry occurs into the ovule. Next we are discussing during fertilization the entry of pollen tube takes place in different ways. Okay, so we know the fact that the pollen tubes are enter into the embryo sac only through the micropyle, but the pollen tubes are not enter into the embryo sac only through the micropyle that we are discussing here. So the first one is pollen tube enters in the ovary at the time of when the ovule become mature. Inside the ovary, guided by the pollen tube. The entry of the pollen tube is guided by the filiform apparatus present in the synergids. Okay, so a mature ovule in which embryo sac also matured has three paths for the entry of pollen tube. The first one is porogamy. Porogamy means in this pollen tube enters into the ovule through the micropyle. It is found in most of the angiosperm. So most of the angiosperm, the pollen tube are enter into the pollen tubes are enter into the embryo sac only by the process or by the whole like micropyle, that is known as porogamy. Clear it is what is porogamy. The pollen tube entry takes place through the micropyle, that is known as porogamy. So most of the angiosperms are example for that porogamy. The next is chalazogomy. Chalazogomy means the name indicates in this method pollen tube enter into the ovule through the chalasa. So porogamy means micropore. Chalazogomy means the pollen tube enter into the ovule through the chalasa. This method is discovered in Casuarina by Trubb. The scientist name is Trubb. T-R-E-U-B. Right? When you are writing lecture note, please be mentioned this name, underline this name, Trubb. T-R-E-U-B. Discovered in Casuarina. C-A-S-U-A-R-I-N-A. I gave you one picture of this chalazogomy. In that picture, it have the name of the scientist and the plant name. Okay. The next is mesogamy. In this method, pollen tube enter into the ovule either through the indugments or through the funicle. Okay. So here not only micropyle and chalasa pore, the pollen tube enter into the ovule. The pollen tube enter into the ovule through the either through the indugment. Indugment means the skin covering, outer indugment and the inner indugment. Through the indugment, it is very common in cucurbita. In case of cucurbita, it is very common. And through the funicles example Pistaceae. Pistaceae is an example for the funicle. So there are three types of pollen tube entry into the ovule. Porogamy means the entry of the pollen tube. Entry of the pollen tube through the micropyle region. It is found in most of the angiosperm, that is known as porogamy. The next opposite of the porogamy is chalazogomy. Why it is known as opposite? Because the chalazal region are situated opposite pole of the micropyle. Okay, so chalazogomy, in this method the pollen tube enter into the ovule through the chalasa. This method is covered in Casuarina by Trubb. Okay, another example for this group is Betula. Next is mesogamy. In this method, pollen tube enter into the ovule either through the indugments, for example cucurbita, or through the funicles. Funicles example Pistaceae. These three are the different methods of entry of pollen tube into the ovule. Okay, so here we change the concept that all the pollen grains are not entered into the ovule through the micropyle. There are three ways in which the pollen tubes are entered into the ovule. In first year in plus one portion we studied that the embryo sac enter into the micropyle region and fuses with the ovary. Here we rearranged that the pollen grains are entered through the enter into the ovule not only through the micropyle but also with the help of chalasa and indugment and the funicle. Clear it is.